be starting now. My name is Alejandro Durazo. I'm actually an enrollment processor here at Charter College. I'd like to welcome everyone here today for joining us. And as we say, we're a small school here, but we're a big family. So you're going to meet a lot of people. We're honored to have a lot of our guests, and we're going to make this a really nice event for you all. For the time being, did everybody register and get their raffle tickets? We got a nice little prize we're going to be giving out, so make sure you do that. Let me introduce to you right now the person that coordinated all this and is making it happen for us. Please help me welcome Ms. Kimberly Thunderbird up to the stage. Community Outreach Coordinator.
Sorry it took so long to get started, but I'm Kimberly Thunderbird. I'm Community Outreach with Charter College. And on behalf of Charter College, I just wanted to say thank you for coming and welcome. And this is a very special day for us as we honor the veterans, our students, staff, faculty members, and also the community members. But just sit back, relax, enjoy yourself, and just have a good time. And again, thank you for coming.
Hard work, and she's been doing that for a couple years now here on our campus, so we really appreciate her. Up next, we're going to have Ms. Natalie Mooser help us with the Pledge of Allegiance, so please welcome Natalie up to the stage.
If you could please join me for Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you, Natalie. We have a great pleasure in having a guest here. He's going to be singing the national anthem. His name is Julian Martinez. Please welcome Julian to the stage. Just to give a little bit of that, he's a fire contestant, and he's also a member of the City of Oxnard Fire Explorers. So Julian, please help us with the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Nice job, Julia. Well done. Good stuff. Next up, we're going to do a poem reading. We're going to have our Director of Admissions, Ms. Jennifer Casillas, pleasure us with that. Jennifer, come on up.
I will not be competing with the singing. This poem is titled The Best on Earth, a Veterans Day Tribute by Joanna Hoops. If someone has done military service, they earn the title veteran sacrifice the comforts we enjoy. The list is long of all the things they gave. Our veterans are extraordinary people. They're loyal, dedicated, true, and brave. When terror and invasion were real threats, they showed us they could handle any storm. We owe our freedoms and our very lives to our veterans who served in uniform. Our veterans should be celebrities. They are exceptional. No other group compares. We're grateful for the many things they've done. They're always in our hearts and in our prayers. We owe our veterans support and friendship. Let no one ever question what they're worth. These men and women served us and our country, our veterans, the very best on earth. Thank you.
lined up, and we're honored by them being here. First and foremost, our first speaker will be our very own Mayor of the City of Oxnard, Mr. Tim Flynn.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Is everybody hungry?
Yes.
I ate lunch before I came here, just knowing that I didn't know if lunch would be served, but I'm one of those 5 lunches a day guys, so I'm going to keep my remarks as brief as possible. Earlier today, we had a veterans ceremony at Plaza Park, and a couple of things that came out of that ceremony. Number one, there's a veterans memorial there at Plaza Park. How many people have seen the Veterans Memorial before? Raise your hands. Okay, and of course, in a perfect world, we wouldn't be adding to the names that are on that memorial, but there are names that have been added. And if you haven't been to that memorial, it's in downtown Plaza Park. Go to Plaza Park, and you can see the names there of the veterans who have sacrificed their lives on behalf of us in this country, this great country that we love. And another thing that came out this morning is that, you know, this time next year, the war in Afghanistan, the longest war, or the involvement of the United States, its longest involvement of any war in the history of the United States is coming to an end, thank goodness. And so the veterans will be coming home. And there are currently hundreds of thousands of veterans right now that are actually waiting to get the determination from the Department of Veterans Affairs as to what their benefits will be as veterans. And we had with us at this ceremony newly elected Congresswoman Julia Brownley. She's done a lot to narrow that time period, sponsoring legislation, so the veterans don't have to wait as long to get their benefits. That's number one. But most importantly, too, that they get the medical treatment that they deserve. One of the lasting thoughts that I'd like for you to think about, and I wanted to mention something about the good work here that Kim and others here at Charter College are doing, is that you know, many of those veterans that will be coming home will suffer from mental anguish and or things like post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. Many of us don't really, including myself, understand PTSD. But you know, with hundreds of thousands of individuals, you know, coming back and having experienced really awful things, it's something as Americans that when we ask, what are we doing to help veterans? It's more than saying thank you, and that's what we're doing here today, and especially the veterans here in the audience. But it's also taking an active role in doing something to help veterans. It could be a neighbor, right? That neighbor might be having problems when he comes home, or she comes home, and with their marriage, right? A lot of times there's a problem adjusting to civilian life. And it could be a host of other things. And so we have to be prepared to take that extra step to do additional things to help veterans. And on that point, that's why I think that institutions like Charter College are exactly what veterans need. Veterans don't need to come home from service to the nation and sit idle. They need to become reintegrated with civilian society, and this whole thing about self-worth and earning money for the family and that kind of thing. This is very important. The vast majority of jobs in this country, the vast majority of growth in jobs are going to be in what are called mid-level areas, or exactly what Charter College specializes in. And that is mostly vocationally oriented professions in the medical field, which is growing vastly, and high-tech and other areas where usually a 2-year training program is exactly what they need. And one of the things that is a trend today, and some of you might have met people that are going through exactly this, and that is that they go out and get a 4-year degree. And sometimes they say, you know what, I'm going to go back to nursing school, or I'm going to go back and I'm going to get a specific training certificate so I can go out and have a better chance of getting a job. So I want to thank Charter College for hosting this event. I want to thank the veterans here in this audience. Let's give the veterans an out front. And if there's anything I can do to help you, I am representing the Oxnard City Council, Mayor Pro Tem Carmen Ramirez, Councilwoman Dorina Padilla, Councilman Brian McDonald, and newly elected Councilman Bert Perello. And I'm here on behalf of them, representing them in the Oxnard City Council. And if there's anything that I can do personally as mayor of the city, my cell phone, 340-1922, 340-1922, and my email is timbflynn@gmail.com. Email me, send me a message. I'm open to receiving you. I just had a gentleman come to my office about a month ago. He suffers from PTSD, and he needed some help. And he needed some help with housing. And so we got together with our housing director. We were able to place him. He's still having a lot of difficulties. So I'm checking up on him. I'm doing the best I can, trying to get my part. But I'm honored, ladies and gentlemen, to be here today. Thank you very much to Charter College. Thank you to the veterans of this great country. I'm proud to be an American. I know you are too, and we can show our pride for America and these veterans by going the extra mile from this point on. Thank you.
How about another round of applause for Mr. Mayor, Mr. Tim Flynn?
And thanks for that, but I forgot to acknowledge my colleague here that I work very close with. He's the brand new fire chief here in the city of Oxnard, and his name is James Monk. I want to have the chief stand. Can we give him a round of applause? And a man that I don't know if you want to see, because he has to do a lot of enforcement, but our fire marshal here in the back, Sergio Martinez, his son here, did that beautiful anthem. I really, really appreciated that. So Sergio, let's give him a round of applause. And if there's anyone I have forgotten, I duly apologize. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Flynn. And now we have a couple other guest speakers. Our next speaker is a Charter College instructor. He was actually the dean of our campus for a period of time. And he also is a retired Navy veteran. Please help me welcome Mr. Rick Walters.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. And was that the fire marshal writing up a ticket? I want to say welcome to Mayor Flynn. Can everyone hear me okay? So welcome to Mayor Flynn and to honored guests and staff at Oxnard. And I want to say welcome to all of the veterans that are here today. You guys are what it's all about. Some of you, my name is Rick Walters. Some of you may know who I am. As you know, yes, I was the dean at one time. I'm now an instructor. But those of you who also might know me as some old, bald guy who's always sitting in the computer room. And all of those things are true. But I'm also a veteran. And 20 years ago, I got my papers from the Navy, which officially retired me after 32 years in the Navy. I received a piece of paper that said I was entitled to all rights and privileges as a captain in an 06 with 32 years of service. Wow. And I saw it, looked at that piece of paper, and I said, gee, I can buy gas at the base. I can, at a higher price than outside, by the way. My wife can still use the commissary, and about 2 months later, I finally realized that I was a vet. I was now a veteran. And I had become part of a very elite family. Now, I call it a family because I consider all veterans to be brothers and sisters. We all went through the time in the service. We all served our country. But I want to add, and some of you who know me as an instructor also know that I like to change things. And one of the things I want to do is I want to add to the veterans family one more group that I consider to be veterans. And that's the military spouse. Okay. You people take care of the family, you pay the bills, you raise the kids while your family warrior is off defending the rest of us. And I want to add the military spouse to everything I say today when I refer to a veteran. My cheers, my congratulations to all of you that are here today. Kimberly asked me to come and speak today, and I was honored and I was humbled. Because part of my reason at my advanced age for teaching and for working with young people is partially because of veterans. Because I see the veterans as being the future of this country. You are the people that are going to make this country great. You're going to keep it great. You have the discipline, the skills, and now those of you that are here at Charter and others that are in other schools and colleges, you are the ones who are getting ready to again serve your country. And that's my reason for being at Charter. I'm here because I have experience, I have some knowledge, and I want to pass it on to you so that you can make some of the hard and tough decisions that you will have to make in the future. Let's look at some history. Oh, by the way, when I popped those numbers 21 years ago, 32 years, I saw a few of you beginning to, calculate and everything else and so on. I'll tell you a funny story. Mr. Tassone came to me last year, and he asked me if I wanted to teach a course called The History of the United States Since the Civil War. And I looked at him and I said, am I qualified? I don't have a degree in history. And he says, yes, you do. You're the most qualified of all. You were there.
Yes.
Yes, I was. Okay, so much for that. Let's talk about history for a minute. Let's talk about veterans. All right. In 1961, when I enlisted in the Navy, veterans primarily were from World War II and from Korea. And these people were veterans. They did their thing, and they were pretty much social. I remember being invited to some of the social events at the Veterans of Foreign Wars and all that sort of thing. But the one thing I remembered about them was they were all old. They had a bond. And then in 1993, the older vets began to die off, and then I began to see guys my age coming into the groups of veterans. This was when I retired. That's when I became a veteran. And I began to notice they were most of them were Vietnam veterans, but they didn't talk much about the war. Vietnam was still a dirty word. And many of the vets that came back from Vietnam didn't talk much about it. They kind of stayed to themselves and so on. And And then I look around at today, and I look at you guys. And I see veterans today that are younger, there's more of you, but I see something very different also. You're all better educated, you're better trained, you have a high sense of family value, and your wounds are far more severe than those that I used to see after Vietnam. You guys are more professional. You are the ones who are dedicated to your families and to the veteran families and the comrades that you serve with. And I've never seen that before to the extent that I see today. You are the future of this country. It's not going to come from the kids who are in college today and so on. Yeah, that will come there. But you guys have the training, you've got the experience, you've got the dedication. Now, you're all getting the education. And that's what's going to move you forward. That's my reason for being here at Charter College today. I want to help you. I want to see you guys move forward. I want to see you guys get the skills and the education that you need to be highly successful in the civilian world and to move forward and move our country forward for both you and the rest of your families. I want to say thank you for your service. I want to say, quote something I saw on the back of a bumper sticker on a car the other day, and it said, "Freedom is not free. Ask any vet." And that's you guys. Very frankly, I salute you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Walters. Great words. And segueing in what he just mentioned, you know, my interpretation of a veteran was always, like you mentioned, older. And we have a student here who's going to be our next guest speaker, and kind of throws you a little shock, so to speak, because when you think veteran, like Mr. Walters said, you think a little bit older, but our next speaker is a Charter College business student and retired Navy veteran. And like I said, he's going to kind of shock you with this image because he's a very good-looking young man. So please help me welcome our next speaker, Mr. Ben Host.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me. Wow, look at everybody out there. Thank you, veterans, first of all. Thank you for going to school with me. Also, some of you teaching me some of those different things. Thank you, Mayor, for being here. Fire Marshal, where are you? It's awesome to see you in here, Fire Marshal. Mr. Walters was speaking just really quickly. He was talking about his first U.S. history class. Yeah, I was in that first class. And the second class period, we closed the books because they were way off, and we just carried on with his knowledge. So it's a pretty interesting class period to be in. Speaking today, I've done some speaking both for Charter College and outside of Charter College. And a lot of times I enjoy it very much, and I find it very simple to do. It's a little bit harder today, and you ask me why is it harder today? And that's because I'm speaking to all of you, my peers. You all have seen me around Charter College for 2 years now, and I have 6 months left, which I'm sure are going to fly by like it was yesterday. But I very much enjoyed my time at Charter College. I've enjoyed my time with you, the students, and also the teachers. And everybody from Mr. Tizone all the way to Mr. Walter, Mr. Cronkite. I've had all of you. You guys have all seen the better parts of Benjamin Host, and you've all have seen the worst parts of Benjamin Host. A lot more of the worst parts than Benjamin, than the better parts sometimes, but that's just part of growing up. I enjoyed the military. I was in the military from 2002 until 2006. I was hurt in Iraq in 2004. I suffered a skull fracture. I broke this region of my skull, broke my temporal bone, the main artery, to my brain, and different things like that. I am very blessed to be standing here in front of you today to be able to speak to you and not only understand the words that I'm speaking, but hopefully you all will understand what I'm saying to you. It's a miracle that I'm standing here, but that comes with obligation, I believe, and that's to do more for those that have followed with me way before and way after. Mr. Walter, thank you for your service. Sir, thank you very much for your service. What does it mean to be a veteran? To me, it was natural. In 2001, when 9/11 happened, I was driving through the countryside. I had a small electrical business in McHenry, Illinois, where my family is from, and I was headed to a job site to do some electrical for the day, and I heard come over the radio. I'm sure all of us know where we were at and what we were doing on that day of 9/11. At that time, as a 19-year-old, 18-year-old boy, about to be 19, I knew that regardless of what I thought on the stance of the political side, it was where we were. It was where my brothers had gone. It was what we were doing as a country, and I knew I wanted to have part, so I did. In 2004, I was in a Humvee accident serving in Fallujah, and I don't know if anybody remembers what we were doing in Fallujah in 2004, but it wasn't a pretty sight over there. That's where I suffered my injury. I came back to the States. I was in recovery here in the States until 2006, in which I was retired out of the military. This is where I'm going to start to get to the meat of my message for you today. As veterans, what makes us special? What makes us special alone is nothing. We're nothing as a single entity until we decide to do something. I look down at Mr. Walter right here, and right next to Mr. Walter, nobody knows him, Denny Rice. Denny Rice, will you stand up really quick for a second? Stand up, Mr. Rice. All right. Mr. Rice was the first man that I worked for when I came back to the United States of America and was in recovery. I worked for him for 2 years when I was on the military side, and then I worked for him another 4 years after that up until 2011. Mr. Rice saw something in me. He saw somebody that was very confused. He saw somebody that had scattered. I had a brain injury, a head injury, which people don't recover from right away. The military looks at you as another piece of their equipment, essentially, and they try to get you to the next stage where it needs to be. It's just part of the process. And I don't hold that against them. Realize that. That's part of the business of our country and the way that it operates. Is it right? Not necessarily, but we signed up. We knew what we were signing up for when we did it. It takes each and every one of us to stand up for each other, to realize our weaknesses, to realize our strengths, to know where we need to help each other in order to stand up together, unified. That's what makes a vet special. Mr. Rice saw me when I came back to the United States and was struggling a little bit to get back up on my feet. And he took me under his wing and he said, you know what? You can either have diapers or you can get back on your feet. It's your choice. I'll buy the diapers or I'll give you the job. So we worked together for 2 years before I was retired out of the military, and he helped me come along greatly in my recovery to be able to get to where I'm at today, challenging me on a daily basis, from asking me to remember things to asking me to write them down, to me losing the books that I would write them down on. It was quite a struggle all the way through it. I got through that, and then somewhere in about 2009, Mr. Walter worked on me. He got in me, he said, hey Ben, what are you doing for school? I said, well, I was in the military, now I'm working on the civilian side with the government, doing some good things, it's working out. He said, yeah, but you don't have your degree. What are you doing without a degree? I said, well, you know, I've had this. He said, well, it's no excuse. Another veteran reaching out to me, just a sailor. I was a 24, 25, 26-year-old kid. Wasn't a high ranking, wasn't a captain, retired. Was none of that. He had no reason to go outside of his way. A retired captain from the U.S. Navy reached down to me and said, son, you need to get your butt in school. So guess what? That was 2009. 2010 came. 2011 came. 2 years Mr. Walter worked on me. And now I'm 6 months from graduating with honors from Charter College. What that means to all of us. The mayor spoke earlier, he talked about PTSD. Everybody, by the way, that comes back from the military, whether they want to admit it, whether they don't, the fire guys, everybody that's in first response, the military wives, suffer from forms of PTSD. It's not the people only that claim it. It's all of us. We're touched by it. We feel it. And there's things that we need to look at. Realize not everybody that you touch on a daily basis is going to be able to relate with you. But realize that it's your duty to continue forward, because there's going to be somebody that needs you in order to get through a difficult time in their life. And without you holding it together as an individual, they will not make it. So do it for them. Do it for them. So that's what I have to say about that. Local support, I appreciate the fire guys that are out here, all of those things. I think I had one more thing I wanted to touch on. I got caught up with that last statement. I really wanted to get that across. I guess that's it. I just wanted to say thank you to all of you here at Oxnard College. I think I'm taking up your time.
We're going to be recognizing veterans at this point. Right now, though, I did meet a gentleman that has been in 3 different wars, and I want to actually recognize that. Mr. Jim Daniels, can you stand up, please? And that's so in recognizing our veterans, we would like to have you all come up, stand up and come up, form a line over here, and we're going to be recognizing you with some, I guess, little gifts and memorabilia with Mayor Flynn as well. So if we can have our veterans stand and form a line. Of our appreciation to all the veterans here right now, and have this opportunity for the veterans to meet our mayor, Tim, as well. Well, I'll hang tight after this. We can go ahead and serve lunch. Recognize our mayor once again, Mr. Tim Flynn, with a plaque. It says, City of Oxnard Mayor Tim Flynn, in recognition of your above and beyond contributions to the veterans of Charter College and the Oxnard community. Follow his footsteps one of these days. Take a few notes. Okay, so for right now, we're going to go ahead and help yourselves to lunch. indulge yourself. And we're also going to be doing a raffle as well. So please help yourself to the lunch that we are serving. And the first number is 784481.
Who wants to be the
You're the guest, so.
Now, our next prize. That's really amazing enough that everyone has their attention span. Here is
Oh, we're from American Anderson Ventura. We came to enjoy a beautiful park right here with you guys.
What do you have here?
Oh, on that one we have veggies, mashed potato, rosemary chicken, turkey with delicious stuffing, and some ham, baked ham, some gravy, variety of pies, pumpkin, apple, and peach. It's very delicious, homemade, everything from scratch. Some cranberry sauce, and that's it. Hope you like it.